be in a 1 minute rebuttal.
Is this working this time?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, one of the things we have to assure, Frank, the congressman that from the 7th Congressional District, when he goes to Washington, he can't be a part of the cronyism that goes on in Washington. He can't be an individual who will go along and get along. Now, I believe that we need to send people who actually have real-world experience, those who have demonstrated the fact that they aren't prepared to go along and get along, those who in the private sector have established real values. We cannot send to Washington those who simply are going to abide by the leadership in Washington because they need to be there. I believe we need to send someone to Washington who has a determination to represent the people of the district and not build their own careers in Washington. And I believe that that's the critical issue. You cannot continue to send career politicians to Washington and expect a different result. We have to have those people who are willing, citizen patriots, who are willing to stand up and say, you know, this is my background, this is my experience, this is what I've done. And I'll represent you because this is my experience.
All right, Marvin, since you brought up that, and again, apologize for interrupting, but again, we're on a tight schedule and a lot of questions here. Since you brought that up, then, the question that I have for you and Brian Rooney is, because you've never, I've always said on my radio show that never listen to a word a politician says, see what they've done. Okay, look at their votes. Obviously, Tim has been in politics for a long time. We can look at his record. You and Brian have not. What can you and Brian say to us today to assure us that it won't turn out like a Republican in name only, Joe Schwartz or a Scott Brown out in Massachusetts? Now, I know Massachusetts is a different district. Brian alluded to that today. He has different pressures. But again, we as conservatives, or many conservatives out there, how can we be assured by, and this goes to you, Marvin, and you, Brian, without track records in votes, that we don't know how you're going to vote coming in the next election?
Well, I have a track record, right, and that's in entrepreneurial accomplishment. And that's my track record. I'm an individual who's actually met the American dream. I'm an individual who has simply put, built a business managerial. And that in itself, I believe, distinguishes me from the rest of the candidates here at this table. And I believe that's the kind of experience that we need to send. It's a demonstration that when I commit to something, that I will move forward and I will succeed. And I think that's what we have to be concerned about in our next representative.
It's an age-old question, you know, how do you judge something? It's really a biblical question, and one of the answers that we were given was you judge somebody by their fruits. So if you look at my history, I've served my country, I have a proven record of service to my country in the United States Marine Corps that's not tainted by Washington, D.C. I've also served at the Thomas More Law Center, a conservative constitutional law firm in Washtenaw County, where we fought for constitutional principles from a conservative point of view: freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of conscience. We also proudly defended Lieutenant Colonel Chisani, who was thrown under the bus by Congressman John Murtha because he thought at the time in 2006 it was unpopular to be against the war. You might as well throw 8 Marines under the bus. We were able to get Lieutenant Colonel Chisani exonerated, and he retired yesterday with an honorable discharge. So when you look at So yes, you need to look at people's records, and records don't just include how you voted, it's how you lived your life. And I've lived my life the way that my parents taught me, to be someone that gives something back to the country that gave my family so much, to be a husband that honors his wife, and to be someone that's a role model for my children. And that's what I've been trying to do my entire life.